We all know, oh, it just went to a second one. That's okay. That's okay. Like I said, I take it for what it is when it goes to a second one. It said there that I had 56 minutes. There's literally no reason why it shouldn't. So sometimes when I look, I'll have like 50 people will watch like one video, and then like the part two, like 14 people will watch it. And I'm like, okay, I guess they found whatever they needed, or they just didn't feel the call, or they weren't bothered to do it. So whatever. So anyway, so for the tiger iron, yeah, so I'm hearing like with the vitality and the sexual energy, it's like I talk about her and her products a lot, but my friend Stacy Sexton, which is really funny, Sexton. It was like she was born, and that's her married name, so it's like that's why it's so like apropos. But she has this beautiful product called the sex oil, and now she has this new spray called, I think it's called In Bed. Um, but anyway, it's just beautiful, and it's like it's all natural, organic products, and it smells so yummy. It's got like cinnamon and cocoa and vanilla. I'll put a link to it below so you can check out her stuff. But really amazing. But masturbation is really important, and I have found with myself that even I'm struggling with my sexuality because I haven't been feeling like I was there. And I think, the having fun and taking sexy back and all that, it's like, there was a time where I used to dress up and wear lingerie for myself and pour myself a glass of wine and roll a joint. And I would like have sex with myself for hours, like just hours. And people be like, what do you mean? And they're like, you must have a powerful vibrator. I'm like, no, I'm like, I have two hands, a great imagination, music, like, and I would just like have fun and fantasies in my head, you know, it's interesting to me that like somewhere along the line we've lost that vitality for our inner sexy, and myself included, so this is for me too. So this says mental clarity, grounding, assertiveness, vitality, sexual energy. The peace and mental clarity you seek can only be found by grounding your abstract spiritual ideas and concepts into your everyday physical life. That is, to bring things back to basics and honor the fact that you have been blessed with this physical life, right? What did I just say? Like, we can be euphoric. Like Ed and I were talking about this recently. I said when we are in spirit form, there's ways of us to experience an orgasm type feeling that we can experience at will. But when we're in human form, it's like we weren't given these, it sickens me to my core. I don't mean to get dark, but I'm glad that people are fighting for these women who have been women and men who have been castrated in the name of religion. And their pleasures for women, taking their clitoris away so that they can't have pleasure, and which is such a stupid thing because you can have orgasms inside too. That's the beautiful thing about women. We can have a clitoral orgasm, or we can have an internal orgasm. And if you've ever had two at the same time, let me tell you, that is like the closest to nirvana I have ever felt on this planet. And I mean, I love chocolate and I love food and stuff, but there is something really special about that. And I have found with myself that this is maybe TMI, maybe this went to 2 videos, and I'll put it in a disclaimer. Maybe people aren't ready to hear this yet, but like there's something really exciting when you can have one hand inside of you, one hand on the outside of you, and you can like bring yourself, like this amazing, you're like, well, that feels good. And not only that, but by doing that, you are teaching yourself what you like, what brings you desire, because how else can you help your lover? If your lover, say like for myself, like Edward and myself, we have both been through a lot of sexual trauma, a lot of intense sexual trauma. And then we brought that sexual trauma into our relationship, not realizing that we were, and then bringing old patterns from our sexual trauma into this life, into our relationship. So I recognized recently what was going on. And so we talked about it last night. And I said, I think we both need to take some time away and to like really like, figure out like what we want and who we are now, and not going by some old programming of like what turns you on. My ex-husband and I, we had gotten down to like such a militant type of relationship that it was almost like he would climb on me and it would be like, oh, okay, he knew exactly where to go, how to get me off, which was cool in a way. But it was like, we didn't want to cheat on it. We loved each other so much, but like the energy between us had like changed, shifted. We tried to commit to our marriage so bad. We did. We hung in there for 7.5 years. We really, really, really tried. But it gets to a point where you realize like that there, it needs to be, some people, it needs to be more than that, you know? And that's what I'm finding right now. Like, I'm changing so rapidly that things that I wanted or the person that I was, I'm not that person anymore. And not just that, but it's so connected to our creativity. And I said that to him. I said, you know, I feel like I am, because I'm not like sexually awakened to who I am now and what I want and need now. I'm like, I don't even know creatively how to move forward. And it's interesting because all I want to do is write, but I can't write on my phone anymore because it makes me insane. So until the, you know, like, then I guess this is, I'm supposed to work on this until, you know, the money manifests for me to buy a computer, or somebody, you know, donates one to me. And so until then, I'm like, okay, I didn't want to look at it. And the full moon was like, here you go. Here's your fucking mirror. Here it is. This is what you have to look at. This is what you have to see. So what is your mirror telling you? You know, what do you have to, you know, dig deep into? This says the peace and mental clarity you seek can only be found by grounding your abstract spiritual ideas and concepts into your everyday physical life. That is to bring things back to basics and honor the fact that you have been blessed with this physical life. Realize that while you are highly spiritual in nature, it is no mistake that you are here. As has been so eloquently said by several of our world's great teachers, we are spiritual beings having a human experience, and as such, you are being urged to honor your humanity. The tiger iron crystal will help you ground and revitalize your sexual energy. Both these qualities are needed in order to be an effective force on earth and to live a fulfilling and inspired life. Remember, spirit is not in the clouds. It is here, right in the thick of things, that the beauty, majesty, and power of spirit are experienced. You do not have to run away from the world in order to find peace, for the true peace you seek is inside you. The true spiritual master is one who is able to find peace even in the midst of turmoil. The affirmation is, I may not have the power to change the world, but I have the power to change my perception of it. Let's say that again. I may not have the power to change the world. I may not have the power to change the world, but I have the power to change my perception of it. But I have the power to change my perception of it. My perception of it. I have the power to change my perception of it. So, perfect example. Joaquin's speech was like so beautiful, was so amazing, was so bold, and was so brave. On one end, you hear that. Then you hear other people going, what's so brave about it? That he's going up in a soapbox, or like people, these, political people are saying like, go back to your day job. That's not reality. All this stuff. And it's like, hey, you know what? He's looking at the world the way he sees it. You may not like the truth in front of you. You may not like that. The one thing that irritated me the most, which is what made me want to do a show, is I read this article that the dairy board was really pissed off about what he said and that it wasn't true and blah, 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 blah. And then they gave all these reasons of why they pull the calf away, and that, they don't want the calf to get E. coli, and like there's all these things, right? And I thought, okay, but if you never existed and farms and horses, if cows were out on their own, do you know what I'm saying? With their baby, they would know how to take care of their baby and treat it. That's what he was saying. He was using that as like a metaphor, and it doesn't matter in the big scheme of things. It was like they just wanted to retract and say, okay, or retort or whatever, and say to them, to the world, like, hey, he's not showing you the whole picture. And I almost said Keanu, and Joaquin is saying like, yes, I am. I'm saying like, that's the natural world. If you left the cow alone in its natural world, that calf would feed off its mother. Fuck you. Like, don't tell me that that's the natural world, that, you know what I mean? Like that machines, or that they're in these pens, you know what I mean? Like they wouldn't be in a pen. They'd be free, wild in the natural world. And that's kind of like for us right now. It's like, we are here in this natural world, in this human body. So to deprive our human body of the experience of sex is literally doing us a disservice, and to take away from us our own vitality, our own self-worth. It's like, this is why they're here. That's why we need to go inward. Oh, I'm excited. Okay, we got enough room for one card. And I have a feeling this is going to be our... Okay, so is this... Are we pulling a card from here right now? Is this card number 4? Or 5? Is this card number 5? Okay, here we go. Okay, so card number 5. So this is the bridge. This is the last part of the bridge from our present situation to what we desire. I don't really shuffle these this way, but I'm feeling this like weird. Okay, this is it. Okay, wow. Okay, you guys. Wow. This is really profound because we don't have much time. Is this card number 5? Okay. Okay. There's a lot coming through. There's so much coming through, you guys. Okay. I'm going to let you. What is the last piece of the puzzle for the bridge? I saw the culmination card. Okay. Oh! Answering the call. This came in our full moon reading. It's answering the call. Right? So you're understanding the circle of life. You're understanding the outcome and what you want. But if you're not answering the call, if you're not doing the work, do you see the rainbow in there? What did I say at the beginning? And on the back side of this card is a rainbow. And so when I saw that, I thought it was about me. But once we answer the call, they're saying that it will be easy. We will be able to just kind of like go over the rainbow because everything in here will be what we've worked on. But we need to like work with these energies, focus on our self-worth, going inward, focusing on our self-love. Right? You know what I mean? It's really important. So we need to answer the call. We're the only ones that are holding ourselves back. And it's so easy to play the victim. I've done it too. You know, I have to tell you something. I'm going to share this with you because then I'm going to go to the culmination card. But last night I had this crazy dream and I didn't really understand it. And I was in this house and there were multiple levels. And there was a gorilla and a German shepherd. But long story short, the gorilla had somehow become, in the beginning, it was like a pet. And it was like small and it was cute and everybody loved it. And it was fuzzy and it was cute. And then like, it was like, but then the gorilla, like everybody was at the top floor. And then like, I remember coming in and being like, where's the gorilla? Where's the ape? Where is it? And they said, it's down on the second floor. And I was like, you left it alone? I'm like, you can't leave it alone. I'm like, you guys, like, that's like a powerful animal. That's like kind of crazy right now. And so I remember like feeling fear, like what the fuck was I going to walk into? And I walked in and there was some people down there and they were kind of playing with him and they were talking to him, but he was like kind of off on his own. And then I went up to him and our heads, like we like kind of like our heads came together and it's this massive animal. But I just remember, and then like people around me were like, are you fucking crazy, dude? Like, and I was like, no, I totally trust it. I totally trusted the gorilla. I totally trusted him. I trusted this ape medicine. Like I trusted that like we were one and that they would trust me. And even though they were like hundreds and hundreds of pounds, I knew that they wouldn't hurt me and they could rip me apart, but I knew. And then like something happened and I went somewhere else. When I came back, I was like, where is it? And they're like, it's in the basement. And I was like, what? I'm like, why is it in the basement? And then I went down there and I was like, hey, I'll just use Harambe because, that horrible tragedy. And I was like, Harambe, but in my mind, I don't know what I called him. And I couldn't find him. And he was sitting alone in the dark by himself. And I was like, what's wrong? I was like, why are you by yourself? And then this German shepherd jumped out and he was playing with the German shepherd. And I was like, and it wasn't Susie because Susie was fluffy, Susie, the German shepherd that used to live here. There were German shepherds in my life when I was growing up, but this was a brindle German shepherd. It actually looked like my friend's German shepherd. Anyway, so long story short, I had this communication with this gorilla and I realized that they were saying like the only energy that they could handle or wanted to be around was the dog because the dog was just like pure love and everybody else, like it was just too hard. It was just too hard. And then when I woke up this morning, I realized that it was me. The gorilla was me, that I've been holding back. I mean, for my partner and my lover to tell me they were intimidated by me broke me into a million pieces, because I was just like, what the fuck? Like, I don't think of myself that way. I'm like, I'm such a loving being. Like, I'm like out there, but I'm like, I'm assertive, right? But I was letting him steal my vitality. I was letting him steal this part of me. I said, I'm taking my power back. You know, I'm taking my sexy back. So take your sexy back, take your power back, take your vitality back. So our outcome, I just want to make sure before I do it. Now I really only have a few minutes. So the outcome is the dolphin. So so now we know this is our path of our desires, right? So we started in the circle of life. Our desired outcome is wealth and self-love. But in between, we need to be quiet. We need to answer the call of spirit and work with the tiger iron, work with those other crystals. And the dolphin is here to tell us what we need to hear right now. Even like right now, as I'm showing this to you guys, like Edward knows I'm doing a reading, but he's doing stuff all outside. And I'm like, do I get mad? No, because people are only going to come as far as they're willing to go. And, there's only so much you can do. And they don't mean to be thinking all about themselves, but sometimes they do. So the outcome for all this is the mana. We've talked about this before, right? Dolphin, breathe with me. Breathe. Breath of the divine, mana of the universe, in oneness we entwine. What was this one? The selenite was all about oneness, right? Coming within. Dolphin speaks to us of the breath of life, the only thing that humans cannot go without for more than a few minutes. We can live without water and food for days, but oxygen is the source of our sustenance. Within the breath, we encounter the rhythm of energy that all life emits. In changing the rate or rhythmic texture of our breath, we can tap into any other life form or creature. This is a very easy way to connect with divine energy coming from Great Spirit, as well as with your own personal rhythms. Dolphin is the keeper of the sacred breath of life and teaches us how to release emotions through dolphin breath. Dolphin creates rhythm, swimming through the water and breathing before submerging, then holding its breath for the duration of underwater travel. As dolphin comes above water again, it blows its breath out in a manner resembling the popping of a cork. We can use this same technique to pull the stopper on our tensions and create total relaxation. This is a good exercise to use before entering the silence. And yes, go on YouTube. I know that there's breath work things on there for free, but also there's people who work with the sexual energy of the breath. This is something I'm going to research myself because that really interests me. So interesting. Mana is life force. Mana is present in every atom and is Great Spirit's essence. Dolphin teaches us how to use life mana through our breath. It revitalizes each cell and organ and breaks the limits and dimensions of physical reality so that we may enter the dream time. Dolphin was traveling the oceans one day as Grandmother Moon was weaving the patterns of the tides. Grandmother Moon asked Dolphin to learn her rhythm so that he could open his female side to her silvery light. Well, we were just talking about the divine feminine. Dolphin began to swim to the rhythm of her tide weaving and learned to breathe in a new way. As Dolphin continued to use this new rhythm, he entered the dream time. This reality was a new and different place from the seas he had known. Dolphin came to discover underwater cities and the dream time and was given the gift of premortal tongue. This new language was the sound language that was brought by Spider from the great star nation. Dolphin learned that all communication was pattern and rhythm and that the new aspect of communication was sound. He carries this original pattern to this day. Dolphin returned to the ocean of the Great Mother and was very sad until Whale came by and told Dolphin that he can return to be a messenger to the Dreamtime dwellers anytime he felt the rhythm and used the breath. Dolphin was given a new job. He became the carrier of messages of our progress. The Dreamtime dwellers were curious about the children of Earth and wanted us to grow to be at one with Great Spirit, and Dolphin was to be the link. If Dolphin has appeared to you today, frothing through the waves in your spread, you are to be a link to some solution for the children of the earth. This can be a time when you are to link with Great Spirit and bring answers to your own questions or to those of others. In addition, this can mean a time of communication with the rhythms of nature. You are put on notice to be mindful of your body rhythms and the patterns of energy being fed to you from the Creator. Imitate Dolphin and ride the waves of laughter, spreading joy in the world. Breathe and experience the mana so freely given. Break existing barriers and connect to the dream time or as they say, the great star nation, know that we are all whole in the eyes of the ever-living one. That's our reading, you guys. I'm about to get cut off. Blessed be. Your path of desires is right in front of you. Grasp it. Happy Valentine's Day. Blessed be. Oh.